What's up guys, and I finally got my hands on the 2016 MacBook. In this video, I want to share with you what's new, what's changed, how's it better versus last year's, and in general, is it worth the money? So a full 2016 MacBook review. Now pulling this thing out of the box, never before seeing one in person, I was immediately assaulted with that pink color. So rose gold is now available on Apple's latest MacBook. It's a stunning color, really, if you like it, if you're a fan. I personally love the rose gold iPhone, and it's certainly not subtle on this MacBook. It's in your face, like, look at me, this laptop is different than anything you've ever seen, but it certainly looks good. Taking a closer look, you'll notice there is nothing different, because physically, this thing is in every way the same as the 2015 MacBook. All of the changes are internal. Besides the color, you'll find nothing different outside. Unfortunately, that means no second USB-C port, something everybody was looking forward to Apple adding. Alright, so let's take a look inside. I do like the fact that you can open up this laptop with one hand. It is very thin, very light, but that's still possible. I just want to say the design of this thing is incredible. Not everybody needs a laptop loaded with features and ports, although it's nice to have, of course, but if you just need this to carry around, travel, take some notes, it's a fantastic laptop, and the lack of ports don't deter many people. The design itself makes up for it. It's definitely no MacBook Pro, and it doesn't try to be one. This thing has an Intel Core M processor inside of it, so it's not competing on the same level. It doesn't have a fan, so you can make this thing a lot thinner, but let's take a look at the performance. So, actually jumping into a Geekbench, I wanted to run and see how it compares to an iPad Pro, and these are the scores for the iPad. This is the score for the 2016 MacBook. The iPad Pro crushes the MacBook. I think that's absolutely nuts. Although the processor is faster than last year's, still, are we ever going to see Apple's own processors inside of the MacBook lineup? Who knows, it might be happening in the future. CPU performance is about 15 to 18% higher. But how about the GPU? Graphics are very important, but this is one area that's out of Apple's control. Now you get Intel 515 GPU versus last year's 5300, and I gotta say, it makes games actually playable. It is much better. Now the number given is 25% improvement. That does seem about right, but if you're buying one of these to game on in the first place, that's your mistake. In any case, light gaming is definitely acceptable now instead of being, just completely unusable last year. I actually pulled up the old clip where I was running the very same game 1 year ago, and it is so bad. I mean, in just the stock settings without changing anything, unplayable. I had to lower it to get any sort of frame rate movement. So there's certainly an improvement there. And this is one area I'm very happy Intel made a little bit of an improvement in. 25% doesn't seem like much, but it does reflect nicely in some games. And do keep in mind that this power increase doesn't come with any drawbacks. Because of the architecture improvement, this is pretty much drawing the same wattage as it has before, but giving you more power. Unfortunately, thanks to the fanless design of the MacBook, this thing heats up quite a bit. So initially testing it, after about 10 minutes in a game, I got about 107 degrees. That is scalding hot. You cannot use this on bare skin. It really burns. Understandably, there's not much room in the casing for a larger battery, yet Apple still managed to get 1 more hour of basic usage out of this MacBook. That's crazy, and this came thanks to new Skylake Intel processors and a larger battery by about 5%. The fact that the battery lasts so long, I think this makes a perfect companion for anybody that takes college classes or in general just needs an all-day MacBook. Oh, what's that? You wanted a camera that can actually see the other person you're FaceTiming? Well, you! The latest MacBook makes no effort whatsoever to improve the camera, stuck at 480p. I understand the shell is very thin, but the HP Spectre, which is the world's thinnest laptop, thinner than this one, has a 720p camera at least. Come on, Apple. And the fact that Apple didn't place another USB-C port on the other side is a little bit disappointing, but that I can somewhat understand. I mean, there's not much room in the casing whatsoever. The logic board was a huge feat of engineering to get that small, but it's understandable. The fact that Apple didn't upgrade it to Thunderbolt 3 spec because Skylake is, now supporting it doesn't make sense. But I did want to mention that living with one of these has become much easier in the past year. There have been new adapters, even a new MagSafe adapter that makes tripping over your laptop not something that'll cost you $1,000. Apple did an upgrade to DDR4, and there's a good reason for it before you get mad. Apple actually uses LP RAM. That's not compatible with Intel Core M chips. And I wanted to touch up on the keyboard. If you guys are going from a MacBook Air, MacBook Pro, prepare to downgrade your experience. There's not much travel room, so it doesn't feel very authentic like it's a real keyboard. It feels like a touch screen in some ways. The backlighting is great though. I mean, each key is individually lit, so it looks good. So in a nutshell, that's the 2016 MacBook. I'm not covering absolutely everything. This is pretty much most of the changes that have happened from the 15 to the 16 models. It's not a revolutionary update, but it's definitely become more worthy of its price tag. Starting at $1,300, this thing is certainly not cheap, not counting tax even. I mean, is this thing worth the money? And I want to give you guys a stern talking to. Why are you buying this MacBook? If you're buying it to be on the latest bleeding cutting edge, then you probably shouldn't buy the MacBook in the first place. But if you want to get more for your money, yet have a beautiful laptop, very portable, I think you guys should go for the refurbished last year's model. Apple just dropped the price by $300, making the price tag certainly more worth it than this year's. But for $300, if you want to get an extra hour of battery life, new rose gold color option, Skylake 6th generation technology, and just all around about 25% better performance, there is the 2016 MacBook for you. Just wanted to make sure you guys do have options. You don't have to go for the 16 and spend more when you can get the 15 for $300 less. But anyways guys, there you go. That is my review of the 2016 MacBook. I love it. I love the design. I love the color. I love the fact that it's actually usable now in many areas, many applications, gaming in general, but the price tag is still hard to swallow. But I do hope I made the choice easier for you. Thanks so much for watching guys. Have a great day. Enjoy your new MacBook. Peace.